Today we are talking about Find a Grave and a little bit about how to manage memorials, how to get transferred memorials to you and you transfer to others if need be, and a few other tricks about Find a Grave. It's a free website. It's awesome for helping you with your family history research. So let's jump into it. So a quick review for those who may not be aware of Find a Grave or you've never been here before. Find a Grave is actually owned by Ancestry now, and it was originally created to help find celebrity websites. So you could come up here to findagrave.com and just search for a name. That is very possible. But more than likely what's going to happen if you are on Ancestry and you are looking at some ancestors, and I'm purposely picking one that is very old because God knows YouTube loves to take my videos down. But if we are looking in the sources and we see something like Find a Grave and you're not familiar with what this is, you want to view the record. Now I'm still on Ancestry at the moment, but it will say, hey, you want to go to the actual Find a Grave memorial. Here's the URL. Well, don't be shy. Go there. Because once you do, then you can look at the memorial over there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this to spare you all the ads, because I'm going to jump over to FireFox here because I have an ad blocker over here so that you don't have to see all the ads. Here we are on Samuel Ferguson, and he was born in 1744 in Ireland, and he died in 1825. That was 99 years ago. YouTube, so don't take this video down. So long story short, here is a wonderful memorial. And one of the things that I wanted to point out is about transferring memorials. And so if we scroll down to the bottom, we can see who created this memorial. Now I've got it blurred out here on purpose, but if I wanted to, I could contact that person and say, hey, could you transfer this to me? Now, one of the tricks is you want to go look at that person and see how many memorials they've created. Because if they created just a few, maybe 100, then they're a hobbyist like, most of us who are just, doing it for our own ancestry. But if they have thousands of them up there, then they're likely not family members. And so what you want to do is request that transfer if this is a memorial that you're willing to take on and manage the memorial, meaning you can add and edit. See, you can suggest edits here because I don't own this memorial. I shouldn't say own. I don't manage this memorial. And so I could suggest edits to that person. I could even reach out and contact them through the messaging system. What I want to do is maybe ask for a transfer. So what you do is you click on that person's name and request a transfer. Find a Grave even gives you source citations. So you can actually click on this and copy the source citation if you want to just put that right in your notes. It's pretty easy. So if we click on this person, we can see that this person has a few hundred. So this person probably, and it even says she's been doing genealogy, mostly researching her family. Okay, so she's probably not going to request, do a transfer of this, but you could certainly reach out to that email address and request a transfer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my account and my memorials. These are memorials that I have created or that I have requested management of. Okay. And so if we scroll down, you can see some of the ones that I've created. Now let's take a look at Fanny Knox. She died when she was a child. I think she was like 12 years old. She was 13, it looks like. So I have, added some stuff. Now, one of the things you want to do is you want to leave flowers whenever possible on memorials. So let's go back to Ferguson for a second, because I don't need to leave flowers on a memorial that I manage. I could, because that puts a timestamp when I was last there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Memorial Ferguson that we saw a minute. So we're back on Samuel Ferguson. And one of the things that you want to do is you want to leave flowers. Look at all the flowers that have been left. This is highly unusual, but this was also kind of someone famous. And so, long story short, you can see where I left flowers in 2023, and you can leave flowers again. And so I usually just pick something yellow and yeah, sure, let's go with that. And now it is timestamped again when I was here last. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I'm keeping track of the information that's being added. And, yes, and, right? Like here's a person who said, this is my 4th great grandfather. Fabulous. So, you know, some of these people may have information, right? And a lot of times I will do the same thing. So going back to Fanny Knox for a moment, if somebody wanted to reach out to me through the messaging center, and you'll get an email saying, hey, somebody's requesting, you know, a transfer, and you go, okay, sure. Well, as I scroll to the bottom here, I can transfer management right here to that other person. And so I would just need to know their ID number. And a lot of times when you request a transfer so that you can manage that memorial, the ideal thing to do is to state your relationship. So in some cases I would say, hey, I am the great granddaughter, you know, I would like to manage this memorial. And if it's somebody that has been out there taking photographs of just, maybe they're an employee even of a cemetery and they photographed every tombstone out there in the cemetery that they work. They've got thousands of them. They have no family ties. As long as you can tell them what your relationship is with them, they're likely going to be happy with that and transfer that to you. And you'll get notification of that. Hey, we're going to get back to that video here in just a moment, but I want to let you know that Genealogy TV has a website, a newsletter, and a Facebook page. Links for all of that are in the show notes below. All right, let's get back to it. So here's another trick for you that I wanted to let you know about, because this is kind of fun, and some people are not even aware that this exists. This I think is really cool, and it's a great way to keep track of all of your family on Family Search in one place, and that is to save the memorial to a virtual cemetery. So I click on Virtual Cemetery, and as you can see, the Knox family is already here. I have a lot of virtual cemeteries in here. Sometimes I do them by family name. Sometimes I do them by cemetery. It just depends. So I hit done, and now that person is saved to a virtual cemetery. So let me show you where the virtual cemeteries are. So if you go up to your account here and you drop down and say virtual cemeteries, it will take you to all the virtual cemeteries that you have created. So now I have a list of them here. They've kind of changed this since the last time I looked at this, but let's go look at the Knox family cemetery. Where did it go? Here it is. So there's 4 memorials in here. Now the cool part about virtual cemeteries is, look, I could probably change the cover photo to be, I don't know, whatever I want it to be, a picture of a cemetery or something. But one of the cool things about this is that you can list everyone in a family group regardless of what cemetery they're in. They could be in 6 different cemeteries. In this case, we've got the Greenwood Cemetery times 3, but then we have Little Elkin Baptist Church Cemetery. Okay, well, here's another trick. Let's move away from virtual cemeteries for a moment and go look at the Little Elkin Baptist Church Cemetery in Wilkes County, North Carolina. So here we could search, I don't know, let's go Walls, maybe is a family name, and look at all the family members by the name of Walls. So if I already have, here's Clarence, I know he's in the family. So if I already have a bunch of family members in here, now I can search just the cemetery, Little Elkin Baptist Church Cemetery, and everybody by that same name. Don't forget that if you have other names in the family that could be buried in that cemetery, make sure you go and refine your search, and you can search, I doubt there's Knox in here, but let's go look. Yeah, no, there's nothing there by that surname. But now I can also search nothing and just look at the entire cemetery and see all the different names in here. So this is really cool. Okay, so that was a quick lesson on family search, how to manage the memorials, how to transfer the memorials, how to request transfer of the memorials, how to use virtual cemeteries, which is huge. A lot of people don't know about that. Don't forget to leave flowers on the memorials that you visit when you visit them. And don't forget to search those cemeteries for the family names, because you may find other graves and some tombstones and other information in the memorials about your family history. Now, keep in mind, the Find a Grave website is user input. Now, a lot of times people will upload actual records there as well, but keep in mind that they are people like you and me who, are not perfect and could have errors in some of those memorials. And so before you leave a bunch of comments about how people have messed it up, I get it. There are people have memorials up there that are incorrect, and that is one of the reasons why you might want to request a transfer. And before you ask, there are some rules that are very vague about if you have requested a transfer and it hasn't occurred in a certain period of time, they may or may not automatically transfer that to you. I think there is a rule. It's not clear as to what that rule is. So if anybody knows, please put it in the comment sections. I would appreciate it. But there is not a real clear defined policy on behalf of Find a Grave as to what that is. For example, if somebody owns or manages a memorial and maybe they've passed away, and you go and request management of that memorial and they're not getting the message because they're gone, there's some time limit, something. And I've seen a lot of controversial comments in the past when I've done Find a Grave videos, and why people might not be responding and why they're not getting things transferred. So hopefully you can get them transferred if you need to.